the corner for a strike, 1-1. Paul Runge of the National League is the plate umpire. Riley, Harvey, Barnett, Fleming, and Garcia on the line. 1-1. And line drive right on by Petrie and through into center field.
That is Wiggins' style, is to hit it right back up the middle. And I think, Finn, you can almost, as we watch the replay of him, just serving it right back up the middle. He doesn't swing hard. Petrie just a little bit late with his glove. I think it's almost like the first game. Wiggins is going to send that message that I'm going to steal to get our ball club going, and they do need somebody to light that fire, and I'm sure we can look for a pitch out with Wiggins on the first base with Craig and Lance Parrish.
Dick Williams hoping to get a jump. This Padre ball club has been behind from the 5th inning in every game. Now Petrie is very tough on base runners. In fact, more have been caught than have succeeded against him. He is 1-1 in that area in the series, and Wiggins no doubt will try to test him. That's in there. Tony Gwynn waiting, a patient hitter, to see what's up with Wiggins.
That's the good hitter, giving him at least one strike. Now he's on his own. Gwynn can just do whatever he wants.
He's hitting .357 in the series. 0-1. Petrie is considered an excellent fielder and very good at turning the double play. Wiggins settling in as if he's ready to push off over there. And they pitch out. That could have been a deke just to convince Parrish to waste a pitch.
I think, well, he does that pretty much all the time. That's very soft around first base. They're all digging in there. What these managers do is pick a particular pitch, forget strategy. They're trying to think, well, what will he throw? If he throws a slow pitch, I'll run him.
1-1. Hit foul down the left field line, out of play. That was a most important pitch. Had it been ball 2, then the Padres would have figured that would negate a pitch out, and you could bet Wiggins would be going 2 balls, 1 strike. But it's the other way around now, 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Well, there's a lot of cat and mouse going on. Chances are 99/100th that he's not going to be pitching out here, but maybe Lance says, hey, he's thinking that I will. They're picking particular pitches.
1-2. He goes, and it's fouled away.
The strategy, forget it. It's just they're trying to think of what the other fellow's going to do, and they act accordingly. 1 ball, 2 strikes, you figure he's going to waste the pitch. Petrie went out after him. Gwynn, of course, with 2 strikes has to really take a hack at it. And Wiggins taking off a base hit, he'd have been in good shape. Interesting combination. You have a very fast runner. And remember, Gwynn, the toughest man to strike out in the major leagues, although Wilcox struck him out in Milt's game. 1-2. He goes. And it's chased and missed. The throw hits the runner, goes into center field. Juggled by center fielder Lemon, and Wiggins is to third. So they got more out of that than they could certainly ask for. And they're looking for any kind of a break, and that could be it. And don't think the Tigers aren't thinking about it. It's a tough pitch for Parrish to handle. Low inside curveball. He's screened by Wynn, who swings. The throw is a little bit to the second base side into center field as it was sailing away. And Wiggins ends up at third. You'll see the throw kind of sail. Now Steve Garvey is asked to do what the Padres have been unable to do, get a lead. The infield halfway. High slider, ball 1, 1-0. Roger Craig says Dan Petrie has the best slider in America. 1 ball, no strikes. Dan has a California flavor to his background. He was born in Palo Alto. Little nubber, and the count 1-1. There are situations that come up where pitchers have to do particular things just like hitters, and right now the battle is for Garvey to get the ball in the air. Petrie's got to keep that ball on the ground or go for the strikeout. ERA, whatever you want to go, the yardstick they use for pitchers is how good a pitcher is he with a man on third and less than 2 outs. Garvey has 1 RBI in his last 64 World Series at-bats. And he hits it sharply to Whitaker. Wiggins to the plate. He is out at the plate.
got it blocked. He slides past the plate. He never tagged home plate. They're going to argue, and Parrish knew it, so he went back to get him.
Wiggins erased 4-2. Garvey standing at first on the fielder's choice, and Greg Nettles a batter. Nettles has not been hitting. Only 2 hits in the series. He's walked 4 times. Foul ball. 0-1. Now Roger Craig is going out to talk to Petrie. When Dan pitched the last time, we went into that long and rather heartwarming story about their father-son relationship. And we don't know, of course, depending upon the series in the future, whether this is going to be Roger's last game or not.
Well, he keeps slipping down. It was 90% sure in September, and now it's down to 70%. And now, after the series, he's going to sit down and talk to his wife, and they're going to make a decision. I think what he was trying to do was to settle him down and use that baseball expression, stay within yourself. Don't try to overthrow it. If he tries to go fastball against Nettles, he may be in for some serious trouble.
So Nettles up there with the count 0-1, 2 out in the first inning. Wiggins out at the plate on the ground ball by Garvey, and Petrie is ready. Off speed for a strike. So if he was overthrowing, he came back with a great call, the off-speed pitch, and in the strike zone.
Well, we've been saying it all along, and it's no big secret. Nettles is a dead fastball hitter.
Dead is right. He has 20 home runs during the regular year. Just show it to him now, but keep it a yard outside. Ball 1. Darrell Evans is not holding the bag on Garvey. They don't expect him to do any running. The first wave of the day starts in center field and works its way towards the right field foul pole. He could have thrown that away. If that were a fastball, I don't think Parrish could have gotten to it. But it was a high change, and Lance was able to catch up to it.
If he'd have thrown that fastball there, I think Craig might have been out there again, or at least waiting for him at the top step. Here's his pitch of decision. He wants it to happen right here on 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Little ground ball to Whitaker, and the Padres come up empty. No run, 1 hit, an error. Left in the big play. Lance Parrish tagging a sliding Alan Wiggins, who never did touch home plate. Scoreless at the end of half an inning. Lou Whitaker at second base and Alan Trammell at shortstop. Kirk Gibson in right field and Lance Parrish behind the plate. Larry Herndon is in left field with the left-hander going. Barbaro Garbey is the DH. Chet Lemon in center field. Darrell Evans will be at first base, and Marty Castillo at third. And on the mound, trying to throw a blanket over them, left-hander Mark Thurman, who lasted 5 innings against the Tigers, the longest for any San Diego starter.
And remember that he was the one who really hung in there. We use the expression junkyard dog. That's what he is. He hangs in there tough. He's got good control, good motion. He's got an average, maybe below average fastball. Same can be said for his curveball, but his change of pace is an excellent pitch. If he turns it over, it acts like a screwball, and it sets up the other hitters. But the key to him, Vin, is what Terry Kennedy says. He knows his own ability. And I might add, if I were catching, I'd walk out and say, watch the first pitch. This guy's been jumping on it.
I'll tell you, he's got reason to jump. Lou Whitaker is the happiest guy in town. His wife, Crystal, delivered a baby daughter, Sarah, 7 pounds, 6 ounces this morning. And he takes a strike. Mark Thurman, he's 28 out of Houston, Texas. And look at those numbers. Aren't they shocking? The starters, ERA 11, and the relievers, 1/3 of a run. In fact, the only run given up by the relief pitchers is when Kirk Gibson was hit by Greg Booker. That's the only run. You remember he hit him with the bases loaded. 1-1. In there. The key with Thurman all day will be keep track of the count. If he's ahead of the hitter, he's got a good shot at it. Because control is paramount importance to him. He's not strong enough to blow you away. Line to right field, and here we go again. Now, yesterday's hero, although that's not fair, he's been a hero ever since he's been in Detroit. Look at those numbers. So Whitaker is at first. That base hit was for baby Sarah, I guess, and for his wife Crystal. Alan Trammell is hitting .563.
And you have to give hitting coach Gates Brown a lot of credit. He's the one who talked to Trammell about keeping that left shoulder tucked in. Drive with it.
Ball one. That wasn't much of a 1-2 fastball. I was surprised he was up with it, and it was a great pitch for Whitaker to handle.
He's got to spot the ball. He's not going to overpower you. He doesn't like pitch outs a whole lot either. Many left-handers don't like it because they're looking at the runner and they say we can keep him close enough. That doesn't mean Whitaker's not going to run, because Trammell, even though he showed some power yesterday, they can put a play on.
And yet we all have known of left-hand pitchers who hate to throw to first. Breaking ball in there, 1-1. Remember Kurt Simmons, of course, he never threw to first. He just tried to fake you with his eyes, I guess. he never threw. 1-1, the count to Alan Trammell. Trammell, who had a great September, he hit over 400. Hits a big chopper slowly. Templeton goes to second in time. Boy, what a split-second decision. And he was correct.
He really had something on that, and Wiggins was there. He didn't take for granted that Templeton would go to first base. He threw that ball hard. Got him.
You know, as Kirk Gibson comes up to the plate, somewhere down around Tampa, Florida, watching the game, I'm sure, is an outfielder who played on the 44 Cardinals with Stan Musial, won the World Series, Danny Litweiler.
Sure, I know Danny.
Well, Danny, among other things, was the baseball coach at Michigan State. He convinced Steve Garvey and gave him a scholarship to go to State to play baseball. He talked Kirk Gibson into playing baseball. He was a football player. And I'm sure Litweiler is sitting back saying, my boys are doing well.
Danny, good right-hand hitter.
He also coached Dick Hauser at Florida State. And there it goes for Michigan State and all of Tigerdom. Strike to Lance Parrish. I'm certainly happy that Gibson was not excited about that home run.
Look at that face.
Line to left field. And Mark Thurmond is a marked man now.
And the Padres will have to be running uphill again.
No one throwing in the bullpen, but in a minute there will be. You can bet on it.
Oh, they're moving already. He's got to make quick moves today.
So Mark Thurmond is suffering the pain and the anguish of all of the other San Diego starting pitchers.
You lose today and your pitchers are going to be going with 4 months rest.
And there goes Parrish. Pitch is high. Hesitation by Kennedy. The base is stolen.
Watch his double take. He can't get it out right there. And Parrish, it takes him a while to get started with that big body. He kind of unfolds as he runs, but he made it.
So San Diego is on the rack already. 1 out in the first inning, 2-0 Detroit. Change missed. Andy Hawkins will begin to loosen up in the San Diego bullpen. Busted bat, blooper to center. Bobby Brown lets it land, hesitating, and now going to third is Parrish. I would think a better center fielder catches that ball.
Lance Parrish thought it was be caught. You could see him retreat. Now he makes it to third easily. The broken bat might have been deceiving because it was a big swing by Herndon. Broke his bat and drops for the base hit. Sherry trying to settle everybody down. All he's really trying to do is the equivalent of a roll call. See who's here and who isn't hurt and who can continue the battle. Gibson swing and watch the reaction.
Look at Tracewski. He's as calm as could be standing there in the first base coaching box.
He just wanted to make sure he tagged first.
First and third. Chet Lemon hitting .214. Parrish down the line from third. Herndon from first. One and 0. I'm sure Sparky knows what he's doing, but this is not the lineup that we received officially before the start of the game. I can't believe Lemon is hitting out of turn, but this isn't the way the lineup was printed. They had Garbe hitting in front of Lemon, but here's Lemon with Garbe on deck.
Well, if it's wrong, Dick Williams will let him hit before he says anything.
Right. There's a base hit. Thurmond is just about done. Parrish scores. 3-0 Detroit. Here comes Dick Williams. Sparky Anderson finds himself, as usual, out in front. In fact, the Tigers have scored in the first inning in 6 of their 7 games. By the way, we were talking about Sparky and the lineup, and they tell us that just a few minutes before the start of the game, he opted to change the lineup. So there's no problem about having anybody hitting out of turn. Andy Hawkins making his appearance. And the runners go. The bat flies and the tag at third in time to get Herndon.
I'm not so sure there wouldn't have been maybe an interference complaint by Nettles at third base on the play, because the bat really went flying towards him. You'll see it. He had that with a broken bat. This just slipped out of his hands. Nettles was there and makes the easy tag.
So that slows down the momentum. Had that been successful, it would have been a definite feeling that the Tigers are just running San Diego right out of the ballpark. That's a big out to slow them down temporarily. So Barbaro Garbe with the count 0-1, 2 down, and there goes a pitch to the screen. Lemon to third and holding.
Well, Hawkins has a good fastball and a good hard slider that looked like it might have been the slider. Kennedy tried to backhand the ball, didn't shift to block it, got by him, and wild pitch is the way they score it.
Hawkins had worked 8 innings and struck out 3 and walked 3 in his earlier duties.
Kennedy's a big guy, and he just couldn't get over there, shift that way, tried to backhand it, unsuccessful, and you see what happens.
Well, Garbe trying to pick up Chet Lemon. 3-0 Tigers, first inning. Fastball and a good one, 1-2. Barbaro Garbe, part of the Cuba flotilla. The DH in the World Series and very hungry, as you can see. 0 for 11. 1-2. Kennedy started to walk away, but it was high. Oddly enough, the Tiger DHs are struggling. They are 1 for 16. But it still could be the team with the lowest DH batting average will win the series for the first time. Popped up, and it'll be Wiggins. But the Tigers get 3. Kirk Gibson's 2-run home run ignited the torch, and at the end of an inning, the Tigers 3 and the Padres nothing. For Kirk Gibson and his 2-run home run in the first inning. If I may make a somewhat cynical observation, however, sic transit gloria. And the Latins knew what they were talking about. All he has to do is talk to Mickey Lolich. Lolich won 3 World Series games for the Tigers. He was the talk of the town in '68. Mickey Lolich is in the last row of the upper deck down the left field line and can't see the pitcher's mound. 1 away. Another note about an early departure by a San Diego starter. Thurmond was chased so quickly. It's the earliest exit by a starter in a World Series since 1917, when Reb Russell did not retire a batter for the White Sox. And here's Kurt Bavacqua. He's had a big series, as you're well aware, after hitting only 200 during the regular season. Fastball, 1-0. Dan Petrie trying to make Sparky Anderson 1 for the books. Chopper foul.
You know, ball clubs got scouting reports, obviously, with advanced scouts, but it was interesting. Jack Morris, when they asked him about the slow curve he threw to Bavacqua yesterday, he said, hey, I played with him. I was on the same club. I pitched against him. I know what he was looking for, and I thought I'd throw that slow curve. He might even get hurt swinging at it.
Right, that was the great line. He said
great line.
He'll hurt himself. 1-1. Fastball. Oh, he's coming after him with heat, and the count 2 balls, 1 strike. Bavacqua played with a pretty good ball player in high school. Steve Carlton down in North Miami fouled away. Kurt played second base in those days, and needless to say, Carlton was the pitcher. 2-2 to Kurt Bavacqua. 1 out in the second inning. Tigers 3, Padres nothing. There aren't very many teams to come back down 3-1 in the World Series. 2-2. Line to left field, but Larry Herndon is there, although he didn't appear too sure of it. The lights are on. We saw Bobby Brown hesitate. Take a look at this and try to catch it yourself.
This ball kind of knuckleballs out there. Sometimes the ball will do that, and Herndon is really fighting that ball. You can see he just wasn't that sure. A couple other places he'd rather been, I think.
Larry has cut down his errors in left field considerably. A year ago he made 15. He only had 3 errors this year. Here's Carmelo Martinez, and it's been on-the-job training for him. Look at that. 7 strikeouts, 1 for 13. As we said at the start of the telecast, it's been a little surprising that Dick Williams stayed with Martinez and Brown all the way instead of perhaps putting Flannery at second and Wiggins in the outfield, but Dick staying with his club. 2-0.
He looks like he's moved a little closer to the plate. Three
3 runs, 5 hits for the Tigers.
Now he's
no
backing
runs,
up.
1 hit. Yeah, look at there, opened up. That's the thing he was trying to get over. Another stop opening up.
It's interesting that he got there and it looked like he wasn't sure of himself when he got in the batter's box. And Lance Parrish is going to go out there now and make the great speech that all catchers make to pitchers. Hey, you got a 3-run lead. Don't get smart. Just throw strikes.
You think that moving around by Martinez is an indication of what's going on inside, that he might be a little edgy?
Martinez?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course, he's had so much pressure. A youngster.
Let's take a look from this side now. See whether he opens up again.
There he goes.
Yep, he just opened. 3-0. On the corner. So he opened up, they eat the inside corner.
Now here's the pitch that he's got to really take a good whack at right here. Set himself and just nail it.
And he hits it into left field for a base hit. Over to get it is Herndon. So Carmelo Martinez gets his first hit to the outfield in the series. In fact, his first hit to the outfield since the second game of the league championship against the Cubs.
Really see the seams. Looked like a slider just stayed there.
There's Gary Templeton. Ball 1. In Petrie's other game, when Templeton was the base runner, Dan Petrie balked. He won't have to worry very much about Martinez leading by 3. They're not holding him on. That's a strike.
Templeton has made up his mind, it seems like, that the fastball from the middle of the plate out, he's going to let him have it until he's got 2 strikes, but from the middle of the plate in, he's going to get a good hack.
All 5 of Templeton's hits have come left-handed. 2-1. On deck is Bobby Brown. And of course, Brown is the hungriest hitter in town. He is 0 for 13. 2-1. 2-2.
Ball looked like it was out of the strike zone, but it was the only one that he'd gotten so far that looked like was from the inside the plate in. So if nothing else, if you're behind that plate, that tells you that Templeton's really got it zeroed in.
And if he's going to go after a ball out of the zone, left-handed, it figures to be low. 2-2. Wouldn't go on that one. It stayed outside and high. So with 2 down, a full count, Martinez will be going. And the crowd a little uneasy because in a small ballpark, a 3-run lead can dissipate in a hurry, especially if Brown represents a tying run coming up. Martinez goes, and there's a ground ball to Evans. He'll do it himself. No runs, 1 hit, a man left. And at the end of an inning and a half, the Tigers flee. The Padres very unhappy. Be considered a thread of a story has instead become a main artery. The inability of the starting pitcher of San Diego to even be around to be introduced.
And it makes it tough on the catcher because you know what his best pitch is going across the foul lines, but you have to find it out there. Kennedy hasn't had much of a chance. They're out of there before he knows what's happened.
Well, we'll take a look and see if Sparky Anderson will become the first man in history to manage championship teams in both leagues. There he is. George's daughter, Shirley, married in March. And Papa's going to be delighted to spend part of his share picking up the wedding. And Darrell Evans starting for Detroit. Ball 1. Evans, Castillo, and Whitaker against Andy Hawkins. High fly ball into deep right field. Gwynn, however, is going to make the catch. 1 away. It is a gray, overcast day in Detroit. You see Gwynn looking up a second time. The lights have been on. Oh, they turned them on an hour before the start of the game at least. Doesn't look nearly as ominous on that kind of a shot. You get more feeling now. Marty Castillo. Ball 1. One of the unsung players to inherit a hero's role when he hit his home run the other night. fouled away. You know, when I look at the Detroit Tigers, and I guess because Sparky's the manager, some people think of them as the Cincinnati Reds. But the more you look at this ball club, the more you think of the Oakland A's. A bunt foul out of play. The Bays of, let's say, 72, 73, and 74. They had three big pitchers, Vida Blue, Catfish Hunter, and Ken Holtzman. They were a team that didn't hit well. In fact, in 3 straight, their highest batting average in the World Series was .212 as a team batting, but when they hit, they hurt. And you remember the 74 World Series, and Joe, you probably called the play. Remember when Bill Buckner was thrown out on a great relay from Reggie Jackson to Green to Bando. And it reminds you of the Bavacqua play being cut down in San Diego.
Basic baseball, they had it.
Unintentionally fouled away. Still 2-2.
If it appears that Hawkins is working in a hurry, that's his style now. They want him to get the ball and come at the hitter, not nibble and just fool around. Make him hit you good stuff.
Hit it on the fists and hit it foul. In talking about teams trying to come back when they're down 3-1, both managers here know that feeling. In 1967, Dick Williams was managing the Boston Red Sox. They were down 3-1. They won 2 and then lost the championship to Bob Gibson and the Cardinals. And on the other side of the field, Sparky knows the feeling. Another foul ball. Sparky Anderson in 1972, his Reds were down 3-1. They battled back to get even, only to lose to, of all people, Dick Williams and the A's. You remember we were talking a couple of days ago about Sparky Anderson and Billy Consolo playing on the American Legion team that won the championship here in '51. You know, there's somebody else in uniform today who played in that game. Deacon Jones of the Padres hit a grand slam home run in that game for American Legion ball. There's Deacon. He got the nickname Deacon because his dad was a deacon in the Baptist church. He was the American Legion Player of the Year in '51. He hit his first inning grand slam, only to have Sparky's team win it 11-7. Strike to Castillo. And Marty says caramba. 2 down.
You love that as a catcher. Low fastball. If he tries to hit it over the plate, it had to be a strike. In fact, too close to tell, I'll tell you that.
There's Lou Whitaker, the brand new daddy. Ball 1.
I said tell. Take is what I meant. Too close to take. You got
how?
2 strikes, you got to whack.
Like every ball player, you take, you're fooled, so you go to first, right?
Right.
High pop fly. Back a second. Templeton digging, but Brown coming. Bobby Brown. And the Tigers go quietly in the second, but they already had a belly full. At the end of 2, 3-0 Detroit. For Bobby Brown have become a litany of frustration. He is 0 for 13 as he chops it behind the bag to Trammell and beats it out. Well, Bobby finally breaks through. Trammell kind of let the ball come to him. He played it very easy.
And it's a tribute to Bobby Brown, who's had a tough time, but he just kept hustling. You see Trammell waiting for it, and Brown didn't put his head down as if to say, well, another out. When is something good going to happen? He tried to make something happen, and he hustled down there, and he beats it out. Trammell did not charge the ball. Brown hustled it, and Brown breaks the ice.
So Brown aboard. Alan Wiggins. I keep thinking I've seen this movie before. Maybe 4 other times. Castillo looking bunt. Ball 1. Each day, it seems, the Tigers score in the first inning. They knock out the San Diego starter. And then the Tigers stand around and the Padres keep getting men on base and rallying and falling short. 1-0. Ground ball to the hole. There's Whitaker, and he will just go to first. Just about impossible to double up Wiggins. He hit into only 2, and the toughest man in the majors.
And one of the things that he did, it didn't get a good grip on that ball. We'll see it here. The ground ball, he almost loses it in the webbing. Right there, and he says, well, I'll just get the sure out.
So one down, Brown at second base. Tony Gwynn trying to pick him up. Gwynn struck out on a bad ball with Wiggins stealing. And it's rare to see Tony go down on strikes. Breaking ball, he wouldn't chase it, ball one.
Among the many things you can say about Whitaker, especially on a play like that last one, he does have soft hands.
Soft hands. First time I heard that was about Terry Moore.
Oh, yeah.
1-0. A shot down to short. Trammell will go to first in the dirt and dug out by Evans. Taking third, Bobby Brown. So Steve Garvey will be coming up.
Good backhand play. The short hop with that big mitt. I tell you, inch or so this side and he doesn't get it.
Give you an idea how good Dave Bergman is because he goes in for defensive purposes.
Well, you can see because Bergman does have that gold glove.
Evans, of course, plays first and third. Here is Garvey, and he's a very hungry hitter. As we mentioned, he has failed to pick up an RBI now in a considerable number of at-bats. And he had a runner at third with one out in the first inning, and the out was recorded at the plate. And he slashes one to the hole, knocked down, and that's all, and the run is in. To give Garvey a couple of opportunities, you know he's going to pick somebody up. It's a base hit, an RBI, and it's Tigers 3, Padres 1.
Even if Trammell comes up with it, his momentum would have carried him far too much towards third base for him to make a play at first. That's a base hit all the way.
You know, the Padres, counting the league championship series, are 0-4 on the road. And they have never been ahead on the road against either the Cubs or the Tigers. And with that run coming over, it's only the 7th run that they've scored on the road. Well, it's been a bad road show for them.
That run's a big one in many ways. Cracks the ice, of course, but you only need one base runner for that tying run to get at the plate.
And you all go back to the hustle of Bobby Brown. He could have quit and said, oh, there I go again. And
exactly.
The shortstop throw him out. 0-1. 1-1. Nettles, of course, in this kind of a situation, he can get you even with one swing. Bobby sitting in the shadows there in the back without the hat. Gary Templeton in the forefront. That's Deacon Jones. One and one. Ball two. 2-1. Tigers 3 runs, 5 hits. A bomb from Gibson with a man aboard. The Padres 1 run, 4 hits. Two and 1. 3-1. Nettles likes the ball up, but he likes it up and in a little bit.
And right about now, he becomes especially dangerous with Kennedy on deck because Nettles is a good cripple shooter. 2-0, 3-1. He'll give you a good rip if it's his pitch.
Garvey at first, Evans not holding. And he wouldn't bite, bad ball. So now the tying runs are aboard. Aurelio Lopez is up in the pen. Though evidently Petrie is struggling as far as Sparky is concerned. He's been behind on 9 of the 13 hitters he's faced. That's cause for concern. Kennedy grounded out in the second inning. He finds Nettles at first, Garvey at second, 2 out, and a run in. 3-1 Detroit. Fastball, and he hit it to Trammell, who goes to Whitaker. Kennedy hit an outside pitch, tried to pull it, and grounded it the other way. He wasn't going that way at all. 1 run, 2 hits, 2 left, and at the end of 2.5, Tigers 3, Padres 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1 1. 1
That's the official family. In the front row with the glasses, Ballard Smith, his wife Linda, and behind you see Carol McKeon and Jack McKeon, Trader Jack. That's the official San Diego family. Mrs. Kroc, Joan Kroc, I'm sure she's in the ballpark somewhere. No, she went to New York maybe.
You know, Mrs. Kroc, besides owning the ball club, is also a movie producer. Ball one. And if Joan Kroc, the owner of the Padres, is producing a movie, what do you think it's about? Owner of the Padres.
Religious thing?
A priest. It's called Mass Appeal, and Jack Lemmon is going to play the priest.
She didn't call me.
You didn't get the call on it. Well, I'll be. Andy Hawkins got the call a lot earlier than he wanted. 2-0, the count to Alan Trammell. Right.
Not many people going to hit that pitch. Low outside, right on the corner.
We have more breeze right now. I don't know if that's a harbinger of things to come. High fly ball into right center, and looking up and calling is Gwynn, but so is Brown. Oh, they almost had an Alphonse and Gaston act out there. So in watching Herndon and now looking here, there's trouble out there.
Brown is hollering, and now he's going to hear Gwynn. He says, I got it, I got it. Now he hears Gwynn, and Tony was checking to see how close he was, and he almost overran it.
Brown said, you got it, you take it. One away.
Balls like that, you don't want a whole lot of conversation. It's I got it and then zip it up.
And yet normally on every ball club, the center fielder's the captain out there. He takes anything he can get to, right?
Right, he runs everybody else off. In fact, when Willie Mays was playing, he caught everything from the polo grounds at Kennedy Airport.
That flag is 125 feet in the air, and there's a fairly good breeze blowing out to left field. 2-0 to Gibson, who powered one upstairs to right center. Gibson has 4 RBIs in the series. Fastball away, ball 3. Andy Hawkins will watch his delivery. Here's a 3-0 pitch. Ball 4. The reason we were watching his delivery, when he was an unsuccessful pitcher, Hawkins would go into his windup and then drop his right hand below his belt buckle. Watch this now. See where his hand goes. See it stay up above the belt? That's the big change, apparently, in his delivery. Well, little thing can make a big difference. I mean, who'd ever think of just the hand up above the belt?
Dropping your shoulder when you're driving it.
Here's Parrish, and they'll watch Gibson.
He shortened his backswing is what he did.
You want to give me a little hip music? A little Hawaiian stuff?
No, nothing like that.
All right. Gibson stole 29 during the regular year. So the 2 Michigan Staters, Garvey holding the bag. We're watching his hips. He was doing a lot of shaking there, wasn't he?
Well, he does a lot of things. He digs in with that left foot. He'll paw almost every time. He will build something, and he'll deke a little bit. You're going to have to watch him now.
After your comments, he'll really do it now, I'm sure.
He'll dig. There he goes, digging in.
Watch the hip. Didn't have a chance, really. It's 3-1 Detroit in the 3rd.
This gives you something to watch when you go to the ballpark.
Hey, I'm hip. 1-1. Big banner in left field earlier today. It said, "No jive, I'm alive." Boy, is ever Detroit. You know, the thing about that hip movement, though, Joe, even if you saw it, how can you cash in on it? I mean, it's so slight, you could read the tip-off through the lens easy. 2-1. But he doesn't do it. The catcher can't do it.
Well, all you do, you get alerted. I'll tell you right now, hip movement or not, Kennedy better be ready right here.
Oh, yeah. 2 balls, 1 strike. This is a a perfect situation, unless Kennedy wants to call a pitch out, which is doubtful.
Look out.
And the Hawk goes over there. Tigers 3, Padres 1, bottom of the third, 1 out. 2-1 to Lance Parrish.
Going.
Leaning. Not going. High fly ball into shallow left field. Martinez is there. 2 down.
You got to like this Hawkins, I'll tell you that. He's got a good live arm. He's a young fella, and when you talk to him, they all talk about it was a matter of confidence that he just lost it. That young, you can see where that could happen, but you can regain it in a hurry. And brother, if he doesn't have it now, he never will have it, but he's got it.
You know, a footnote to Hawkins and Leffers. They retired 24 of the 26 hitters they faced back in game 2. Can't get much better than that. Here's Herndon. Singled in that wild first inning when the Tigers got 3. 0-1. Herndon is from a great name town, Sunflower, Mississippi. Two and 0. Isn't that something? But of course, if you put the wreckage of the starters up there, it's a totally different story. And the reason why the Padres are down 3-1 and why the Tigers are leading 3-1 right now. 2-0 to Larry Herndon. Now back. 2-1. We mentioned it in the aftermath of the first game. Larry Herndon is so quiet, so shy, so retiring. And when he hit the home run in the first game in San Diego, they tell me he left the park in uniform and he had his clothing delivered to the hotel. I mean, that's being retiring.
And it's not that he's upset and doesn't want to talk to anybody. It's just his nature. You have to respect that.
Oh, he's a good fella. First thing he said was, hey, that was Jack Morris' game. 2-1 to Larry. And there goes Gibson. Ground ball to the hole, backhanded by Templeton, and guns him out. Boy, what a pleasure to watch him throw the ball.
And the count was 2 balls and 1 strike. Manager's delight.
A walk to Gibson, and they leave him. And at the end of 3, Tigers 3, Padres 1. And there are birds flying directly overhead.
All the guys say the same thing. It's a line that's as old as I can remember. When the birds fly overhead, those guys always say, those are the vultures, and they know my arm's dead. Get away, birds. Get away from my arm.
There they are.
There they are.
If we were in Los Angeles, San Diego, San Francisco, I'd figure there was a storm out in the ocean and the birds had come in. There are a lot of them flying overhead, and we go to the 4th. Bavacqua would have something to say about those birds.
He'd have something to say about anything.
Bavacqua, Martinez, and Templeton. Hit the ball pretty hard, went out to left field in the 2nd inning. 4-1. Dan Petrie trying to lead the Tigers to a championship. 1-0. You know, if the Tigers should win today, they would really become a home team to the pleasure of their fans. They clinch their division at home. They clinch the pennant at home. And here they are trying to clinch it in the World Series at home.
Petrie falling behind. Sparky, I'm going to get that bullpen going in a hurry, I'll guarantee you, and make a quick move because he'd like to nail it down, obviously.
Lopez was up back of him in the 3rd inning. And look at there, Craig on the phone. A strike. The only other team to do that winning all the big ones at home, the 1969 New York Mets. And there is Aurelio Lopez, number 29, ready to go back to work. 3-1. All four, and he's going to have company is Lopez. Bill Shearer gets up to join him.
Well, you can see Sparky's thinking every base runner, you got the tying run at the plate, a home run, you're tied up.
So Bavacqua standing at first. Sparky's really working that gum. I know it's gum and not chewing tobacco because at the start of the game he blew the biggest bubble I've ever seen him. He's really working on something. Carmelo Martinez singled in the second inning. He has 2 hits in the series. And he's back to opening up. Look at that left foot. And immediately Petrie takes advantage of it.
Well, starting him out there, he's going to try to hit the outside corner, and if he catches him leaning a little bit, he'll bust it in on his hands. They've just been flip-flopping. The 2 fastballs are inside, they go outside. They start outside, they go back inside.
0-1 to Carmelo. And a good breaking ball on the outside corner.
Whoa, that's the second one. Now you can go either way. I mean, it's a hard slider, and they clocked it at 93. And you can really see that thing break from up here. You can tell the rotation of it. You can almost see that little World Series logo on that baseball.
0-2 to Martinez. Wouldn't bite after a good slider because that's the one you have a tendency to chase when you're down 2 strikes.
I'll tell you, the kid's between a hard place and a rock, though, because the 3 pitches have been out there. He almost went for that one. If he starts to lean a little bit, he just saw that bat right off in his hands.
Evans behind Bavacqua. Nobody out. Fouled away. Another breaking ball. Only this one he came inside with. So that's 4 in a row.
He missed with that one. He didn't want it where he got it. 4 breaking balls in a row. And you can watch Parrish when he gives the sign. If he stays on that outside part of the plate, it's a breaking ball. And then if he comes inside, obviously it's a fastball.
And remember, it was a bad slider that Bavacqua hit for the 3-run home run in the 5th inning back in San Diego. 1-2. 3-1 Tigers, top of the 4th. Fastball, and got him on a foul tip.
Stayed outside the whole time.
So that's a little lesson. Dan Petrie going to the chalkboard. And for Martinez, he's going to the dugout with his 8th strikeout.
He really worked on him, and he's got something on this one. High up, looks good coming there. Tough pitch to handle, high outside. Had a good cut, didn't get it.
Here now is Gary Templeton, notorious first ball hitter. Let's see what happens here. Ball 1.
Middle of that played out. He's zoned in, I'll tell you. You got to like Templeton.
Traded from St. Louis to San Diego for the Wizard of Oz, Ozzie Smith. Bavacqua at first, Evans back of him. Lined into left center, sinking, and that's in there for a base hit. Since he's gone away, he falls down. That allows Templeton to get to second, and stopping at third is Bavacqua. Herndon was going away from his play. He tried to twist his upper torso to get the ball back to the infield, and he fell down while trying to do it. It's a double for Templeton.
Good piece of hitting. Take a look at the replay. Herndon runs it down. He loses a little bit of footing right there. Whoops. And I'll tell you, they're not going to fool around with Petrie a whole lot of time here. Herndon did everything he could to get it back to that infield, but it was an easy 2-base hit for Templeton.
So now you have Bobby Brown on the spot again. It was Bobby's hustle for a base hit that gave the Padres a run in the 3rd. He has a chance to tie it up with a base hit now. Off speed, fouled away. Pretty good pitch, especially to a fellow who is not hitting. You know how anxious Bobby must be up there, and Petrie takes advantage of it. And 0 for 5. Of course, he's left a lot of men on. Now he's trying to pick up the tying run. Bavacqua at third, Templeton at second. Fastball, and that's hit to left center. Lemon on the run, flags it. Tagging is Bavacqua to score, holding is Templeton. So Brown just hit in tough luck. He drilled that ball.
Lemon closed the gap in a hurry, sacrifice fly. It's a 3-2 ball game. Brown not trying to pull that ball, which was his intent before the game. Just go with the pitch. He did. Looked like he was going to plug the gap. Lemon made a good play. Here you see Chet breaking over, plugging the gap. It was not before. Bavak was able to score the second run.
So now Alan Wiggins trying to pick up his buddy Gary Templeton and get the Padres even. It's 3-2 Detroit. We're in the fourth inning. 0-1. Wiggins single, stole second, took third on the overthrow, but was cut down at the plate, and last time up grounded out. Castillo with 2 out is even with the bag. They're not looking bunt now. 2-0.
Wiggins has been great in sending the ball back up the middle. That's been his spot.
They had a look at Ozzie Virgil. Petrie continues to be behind on most of his hitters. A dangerous way to go, pitching uphill. 2 balls, no strikes. Fastball hit into left center. Lemon was shallow. Here comes Templeton. Lemon's throw cut off by Evans. He goes to travel. It gets away, and it's finally retrieved by Lemon. Whitaker tried to glove it and couldn't, and the Padres have tied it up.
And the Tigers have to be thinking, as you see this ball going to left center field. Here comes Sparky. Lemon, a good throw. It's cut off as Evans wants to get Wiggins going into second base, but they can't handle it. Tigers have to be thinking, Vin, about the Cub-Padres series when the Padres were down. But remember, this ball club, they showed you they got a lot of dog. I mean, they're tenacious, a lot of bulldog in them.
Well, they were down 3-0 to Rick Sutcliffe, and they were able to pull the rug out from under him. And they were down 3-0, and they have at least chased Dan Petrie and Bill Scherer, the left-hander, will be coming in after we watch Gary Templeton bring home the tying run.
We've got ourselves a ball game.
I hope so. Bill Scherer missing on his first pitch to Tony Gwynn. 1 ball and no strikes. Gwynn struck out and grounded out, trying to give the Padres something they're really not familiar with, a lead. It's 3-3. Off speed and a high fly ball. Gibson going back to the track, and he's got it. So the Padres scramble for 2 in the fourth and get even. And remember, they also had a man thrown out at the plate. And at the end of 3 1/2, Padres 3, fourth inning. Sparky just hollering, "Come on, Chester, let's go." It'll be Lemon, and we'll see about Garbe because Johnny Grubb is on deck. Dick Williams, meanwhile, has entrusted the tie to Andy Hawkins. Lemon, Grubb, and Evans figure to be coming up against Hawkins. Fastball inside and a shocked disbelief. There's Johnny Grubb. Lemon singled in the first inning, picked up an RBI. He has 4 hits in the series. 0-1. Line drive at Nettles. Oh, was there smoke on that?
That was self-defense. He had to catch that. That's right at him. You talk about hitting it right on the nose. Nettles, he just kind of looked at it after he caught it and said, "Hey, don't be coming down there so fast." Here's
that
a
had
great
to
shot.
hurt, don't you think? It looked like it was a heavy ball. Watch it sink right there.
Caught in the webbing.
Like it was made of steel. And Johnny Grubb, a former Padre, coming up. He's a #1 Tiger pinch hitter. He had 381 during the regular year, including 3 home runs coming off the bench. Of course, the Padres know all about him. One out, fourth inning, 3-3. Good fastball. Oh, that really was rising, too.
He's got a good live arm, and that's why they say don't nibble, just go right at him. Your stuff is good enough. You don't have to nibble.
That got him? Yep, hit by the pitch. 0-2, tried to come inside and came too far inside.
That was a slider. You could see it starting to bite his way in there, and Grubb hanging in there gets hit on the left elbow.
So Grubb goes to first the hard way, hit by the pitch. And Darrell Evans will be coming up with 1 out, a runner aboard. Evans, you remember, skied a fly ball deep to right that Tony Gwynn caught in the second inning. 3-3, bottom of the fourth. The Padres trying to stay alive. High fly ball, it's playable, and Tony Gwynn actually coming up for it. Grubb holding.
I was going to say, Vin Evans has a great swing for this ballpark, and he's really going for the long one. Had a good swing, but got under it, and he's just disgusted. He knows that he got under it, and it's playable.
That must be awful to get the pitch you know you can drive and just miss it.
And get under it.
There's Marty Castillo. He struck out in the second inning. Borderline pitch, remember 3-2. He was caught looking. Does he look a little bit like Darrell Evans? He
Yes.
does to me.
I agree with you on that one.
I noticed you said on that one with emphasis.
Well, Billy Consolo to me does not look like Art Wilhelm.
Well, now the secret's out.
We have no secrets.
No. 0-1 to Marty Castillo. 2 down. Johnny Grubb at first. Castillo with the big 2-run home run Friday night. Whoa, after the fastball and the slider, he comes up with a change like that. You talk about dirty pool.
That's the pitch he's working on. That's the pitch that you'll see him throw a lot of beginning in spring training. He gets the humor, he'll be throwing that a lot. There's the slow. You see how he had the grip? It's the like a 3-finger grip, almost like a pound ball.
0-2. And that's hit into right field. Base hit. Grubb is to second. They'll hold him. The throw to Templeton.
If you're feeling bucked,
Whitaker singled in the first inning and fly to center in the second. He comes up with runners at first and second. Castillo at first. Grubb hit by the pitches at second. Whitaker hitting .294 in the series. Change. 1-0. Brand new daughter Sarah and Norm Sherry going out to the mound to talk to Hawkins.
Usually when that happens, really not that much going on, and the pitching coach jumps off the bench, it's because the manager was groaning, and they've got some action in the bullpen. Lefferts is starting to throw, but they're going to wonder, why are you throwing changes? Well, what's in your mind? I just want to know, because that's a groaner's pitch.
Yeah, quick he's warming up. I don't think he's trying to get ready to catch Whitaker, but he is certainly getting ready for Gibson.
That change of pace may have been a message to the bench that something was up.
There's a scorecard. Williams, of course, thinking, okay, I got Whitaker here, but then I have the right-hand hitting Trammell coming up, so I'll stay with Hawkins, and then if I'm still in trouble and they have Gibson, I can counter with Lefferts. Maybe. 1 ball and no strike. Well, 2. One thing you know, Williams cannot afford to play any kind of a waiting game. Not today. He'd be left at the station. 2 on. Castillo at first, Grubb at second. 2 out, 3-3 in the fourth. And Hawkins now is in a lot of trouble. There's Alan Trammell. Boy, you talk about the horns of a dilemma. 3-0 to Whitaker and Trammell waiting in the wings. 4-4 and the bases are loaded. Well, they always talk about the bullfighter and the moment of truth, where he stands there with cape and sword looking over the horns of a bull. It is the moment of truth for Andy Hawkins as Trammell comes up with the bases loaded, 2 out, 3-3 in the fourth. High fly ball, it's playable. Bobby Brown is there. And the Padres get out of the cage. And Andy Hawkins looked right down the throat of the Tiger and got away with it. And at the end of 4, 3-3. In a tied-up ball game. And Bill Shearer working on Steve Garvey, Greg Nettles, and Terry Kennedy. You know, just thinking of one of the most remarkable set of coincidences, I think, in baseball history, as Garvey hits a towering fly ball, but it's a runway out there for Lemon. 1 away. We're in the 5th inning of Game 5. Now, how about this for an oddity? Go back to 1952. Carl Erskine is celebrating his 5th wedding anniversary. He's going to pitch the game. In the 5th inning, the Yankees score 5 runs on 5 hits. Dodgers win the game 6-5. Erskine goes all the way. Time of the game, 3 hours. It started at 2:05. So it ended at 5 after 5. So you can always remember Erskine's anniversary.
Yes, you can. Then he went to the racetrack and bet number 5.
And went right down the tubes.
Finished 5th.
1-1. 1 out in the 5th. 3-3 tie. Each side with a half a dozen hits. Two and 1 to Greg Nettles. Grounded out and walked. Bill Shearer. His first 2 years in the Reds organization was Sparky's last 2 years in it. There's a drive to center, sinking base hit. The 1-out single by Nettles. And that'll bring up Terry Kennedy. There's Bill's number. The Tigers acquired him from the Reds after the start of the year. Back in '83 as a rookie, he saved 10 games for Cincinnati, and Roger Craig is going to pay him a visit.
The way Roger's walking out there, it's like he's going to buy a little bit of time before Lopez comes in, who's just kind of throwing some loosening up pitches. He's been throwing down in the bullpen, and then when Sparky made the change, he sat down, and it's not going to take him much to get loose.
That's the 3rd time Lopez has been up in 5 innings. So he's probably close to being ready. After the left-hand hitting Kennedy, Lopez looking ahead would figure to get a call. Bavacqua, Martinez, right-hand batters. Templeton switches, as you know. There's Kennedy, grounded out and hit into a force play. 3-3. Nettles, who does not run well at first, with a left-hand hitter up. Evans not holding the bag. Slow curve, fouled away. If you watched the special feature yesterday about relief pitchers, they were talking about funky, the modern day slang of people like Quisenberry. When Russ Nixon had Bill Shearer at Cincinnati, he said Shearer has a funky breaking ball. I don't know what the definition is. 0-1. Well, that might be it.
Kennedy just agreed. Here with the super duper slow-mo, you might see a funky pitch.
Wherever you are, Russ Nixon, this one's for you. 0-2. And another one tapped slowly to Shearer. He's got a play at first. Trammell set the glove up saying, "Come to me." And Shearer either forgot about it or just was afraid to go back there.
He just made up his mind he was going to go to first base. There's nothing you can do at shortstop. He's probably saying to Nettles, can you imagine that? Have my glove up and didn't throw it to him.
Here comes Sparky.
Here comes Sparky, and it's going to be a pitching change.
He'd say to himself, hey, if you're not going to go back to second base, you're gone.
Now he's got time here because Kennedy's not that good a runner. He's got plenty of time, and there's Trammell's glove. He's saying, give it to me. He had a play, but he decided to go to first base.
Not even our competitor's best battery can match the power of Energizer.
Talking about holding, that's his responsibility. Aurelio Lopez trying to hold the Padres with a runner at second and a 3-3 tie. Lopez picked up for Petrie in game 2. He went 2/3 of an inning in that game, did not give up a run. However, he gave up a base hit and a walk, and he got away with it.
He's a power pitcher, throws hard. He was a pitcher who made that one pitch on the pitch out that got Larry Barnett with Templeton swinging. As we look at Roger Craig.
Kurt Bavacqua is the batter, fly to left and walked. Lopez had a 10-game winning streak, the longest in the American League this year. Ball 1. Nettles at second, 2 out. 3-3, top of the 5th. Ball 2. Strike. Notice how that leg seems to shimmer and shake on his delivery. It's all part of his rhythm. His left leg really does a little number. 2-1 to Bavacqua. Nettles at second. 2 out. Fouled away. 2-2.
It'll take a pretty good base hit to score Nettles from second base. He will be off with the crack at the bat because of 2 outs, but we could see a play at the plate because they're not that deep for Bavacqua.
Bavacqua flied to left in the second inning, hit the ball hard, and walked in the 4th, came around and scored a run. 2-2. Half swing, got him. To Lopez, strikes out Bavacqua. Nettles left at second base. And at the end of 4 1/2, it's still 3-3. Remember the 10th. And we've got ourselves quite a race now. 3-3, bottom of the 5th, and the big cats coming up. Gibson and Parrish and Herndon. Gibson hit a 2-run home run in the 1st inning and walked in the 3rd.
And this Gibson, a talented ball player. He's had a great year. He can do it all with the home run. He even tries to beat out a lot of bunts, a la Mickey Mantle.
So Nettles plays about even with the bag at 3rd. The right side, however, deep. Ball 1. Andy Hawkins, you remember, got Trammell with the bases loaded. But what you have to look for now is whether he expended all of his gasoline. That needle could be on empty in a hurry after that last inning. Fouled away, 1-1. Sparky trying to win it in both leagues. And Dick Williams trying to stay alive to do it.
In a game like this, when I see those managers, I think of that old baseball line. They get paid half for winning, half for worrying, and nothing for losing.
Yeah, isn't that the truth? In fact, when you think about it, there are only 2 people who are really involved with winning and losing. The pitcher, because he lives by wins and losses, and the manager. Nobody else, really. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Fastball off the glove of Nettles, deflected into shallow left, run down by Templeton, and holding is Gibson with a base hit.
Well, that great speed pulled Nettles in, and he hit it hard that way. You doubt if Nettles could have come up with it playing back. He got a glove on it, but he was in tight, and there's no doubt about it being a base hit, and they respect the speed. Watch how quickly he gets that ball in, Templeton.
And, of course, it's a sign that Gibson is really developing as a hitter. The fact that he went the other way after pulling a home run to right center.
Say, they did a job on him as far as attitude. He's had the ability, and he is really a determined young man. And he's working on all the facets of baseball. He keeps the way he's going. He's going to be a tremendous star.
But here's Parrish, and in the bullpen, Craig Lefferts is throwing again. And remember that tough inning that Hawkins had in the 4th. How many times we've seen a pitcher fight his way through an inning and have nothing left the following inning. 3 runs, 7 hits for each side. Lefferts in the pen. Gibson held on by Garvey. Fouled right into Kennedy's mask. Lands with his 33 home runs during the regular year, hitting .267 in the series. On 1. High drive in the left field. Martinez on the grass, on the track, makes the catch. Gibson tags, going to second. He's in there.
Once again, Gibson's speed pays off. He was right on top of that bag when he began his slide, but the scouting report has been that you can run on the outfielders. I wouldn't be surprised to see him appeal the play once they get set and get it going. Thinking that Gibson left early, at least it'd be worth an ask.
No one hollering from the dugout, and that's a usual sign. The Padres are very quiet. So evidently they're not going to appeal. The whole club would be up if they thought Gibson did leave early.
I did it on general principles.
Yeah. Larry Herndon single to center, grounded to short. Good backhand save on that one by Kennedy. Both catchers have made some marvelous stops behind the plate. Never get credit, never get a mention. Never even get a ripple of applause. 1-0. Why in the world does anybody want to be a catcher?
Because he started out on the playground as a fat kid. There's no other place they play you.
It's like, why does anybody play the tuba or the bass fiddle? Thank goodness they do. So Gibson at second, 1 out in the 5th, a 3-3 tie. And low fastballs, and he's behind 3-0. On deck is Chet Lemon. So Gibson slashed one of Nettles' glove, and Parrish sent Martinez to the track. And the count 3-0 to Herndon. So with Gibson at second, you definitely have the feeling that Hawkins is laboring a bit. And he walked it. And here comes Dick Williams, and I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if Hawkins' needle is on empty and he's gone. We'll see.
Oh, he's got to make the change, because that's not Hawkins that has been out here in the other games. He is kind of struggling. He's kind of aiming the ball, and Williams has to go right now. He can't second guess himself. Lefferts will be in this game.
I can't tell you how many times you sit upstairs and you see a pitcher get out of a really tough jam, and all you have to do is wait. And a lot of times he has spent it all, and Hawkins has spent everything with 58 pitches. He's gone. Now there's a guy in a hurry. The other fella kind of like to hang around. Inside Tiger Stadium, things on the wild side. Direct contrast. You have Kirk Gibson at second base. 1 out. You have Larry Herndon at first base, and you have Chet Lemon coming up. Greg Lefferts is now in his 3rd game. He was in Whitson's game. He went 3 innings, allowed just 1 hit and struck out 5. And he was also in Shaw's game and worked 2 hitless innings.
You'll see a pretty good screwball that he's come up with, and he can change speeds with it, so it gives him really 2 extra pitches.
Lefferts born in Munich, West Germany. Screwball. 1-0. 1 away in the 5th inning, 3-3.
You like to see a guy run in. He really overdoes it the way he comes in, but it makes your ball club look good, like, hey, don't worry about it. I'm here, man. I'll get him. Some guys, they figure, uh-oh, why me?
1 ball, no strike. Scroogey away, ball 2. You wonder sometimes in a pressure spot how many ball players would say, don't hit it to me.
There are enough.
Mm-hmm.
One is too many on a ball club, but there are enough.
2 balls and no strikes to Chet Lemon. And now he's in trouble. 3-0. He might not be so happy he ran in.
He's going to regroup now. He knows he's in a jackpot. Lemon took a good look at Grammas, but you tend to doubt that he'd turn him loose 3-0.
Lemon 3-0 and a left-hand hitter on deck. Remember, Johnny Grubb batted for Garvey. Gibson at second, Herndon at first, 1 out. Strike. Up around the armpits in the high portion of the zone.
Here comes a very, very difficult pitch that he's going to have to make. Here's the 3-0 pitch. It's 3-1. He's got to throw something besides the fastball, and he's got to get it over for a strike.
And he walked him. The bases are loaded with 1 out. So the Tigers had the bases loaded with 2 out in the 4th. Now the bases loaded and 1 out in the 5th. Rusty Kuntz coming up, and Dick Williams twisting and turning again as he chews on his sunflower seeds. Sparky's been doing a little chewing and a little spitting himself. The Rusty Kuntz. They played at Cal State. There are 19 Cal State campuses. He played at Cal State Stanislaus.
Very popular ball player here because he's come through with some big hits, and he's also the good humor man. He's always happy, gives you enough of that down home kind of talk to really become popular.
Look at his numbers. No wonder he's popular. They got him from the Minnesota Twins last December. He originally broke in with the White Sox. Standing room only on the base paths. Gibson at third, Herndon at second, Lemon at first. Garvey and Nettles are up. Templeton and Wiggins are back in double play depth. And the crowd beside itself. 1 out. Boy, you talk about having a tiger by the tail. Look out here. High pop fly. Out goes Wiggins. Makes the catch, and coming to the plate and scoring is Gibson. I can't believe that Wiggins caught that ball.
I don't know why Gwynn didn't run him off the play. Gwynn is coming into the play.
He had an easy play if he comes in and catches it, unless he lost the ball.
I don't think he lost it. Wiggins went out as all good infielders should and get run off the play, and Gwynn did not run him off the play.
Boy, what a surprise. And Williams has to be surprised. Where was his right fielder?
Well, now Wiggins goes out. He's got to go out until he gets run off the play, and he's not run off the play. He was running away, had to turn around, and Gibson didn't even hesitate.
Of course, that shot doesn't show you where in the world was Tony Gwynn. He had an easy play. Wiggins was going away from home. Gwynn was coming into the play.
Well, he's right next to him. He could have made the play. Now Lefferts backs up the play. Now watch Gwynn. There you see how close they are.
You know what? He lost it. I'll tell you why he did. When the ball was halfway to right field, he stuck his hands out. It was as if, I don't know where it is. I really feel that Tony Gwynn lost the ball after I saw his gesture. The only excuse for letting the second baseman take that play. So it is 4-3 Detroit. Foul back by Darrell. Take another look. Watch his arm. Well, I think that's after the fact. Yeah, it is. It's before that Gwynn put his hands out. You have it, but you have to see the very beginning. Big play. Meanwhile, Herndon at second and Lemon at first. Ball 1, 1 and 2.
Don't overlook Gibson's speed on all this. Remember, Gibson, he went to second on a fly ball to left field, went to third on the walk and a pop fly. His speed paid off.
Oh, sure. And it's going to especially pay off on a second baseman throwing from right field. Strike 3 called, and what a big play that pop fly becomes. The Tigers should not have scored, but they did. And at the end of 5, Detroit 4 and the Padres 3.
At Sprint, our priority.
Due to time constraints, we'll move now to the bottom of the 6th inning.
Right now, Marty Castillo will start it off. 4-1. Castillo followed by Whitaker and Trammell. Marty struck out, called out, and singled in the 4th inning. 1-1. Bottom of the 6th inning. Screwball. Oh, beauty. 1-2. Of course, if you could ever call pitches, this is the place, this ballpark. We're peeking right over Kennedy's shoulder. Another screwball, and he pulled it in the hole. Backhanded by Templeton. Makes the throw too late.
Incredible play. Incredible play. I can't believe he was even going to throw that ball, and he made it very close.
This is why I said if you're going to have an infielder throw from the outfield, here's a guy you wouldn't mind doing it.
Look where he is, and he ends up way over third base, and he throws that ball while he's running, and if he doesn't stretch out, Castillo is out. Look at this, coming right down the line. Watch him stretch. Extra stretch. There it is. It gets by Nettles, and Templeton throws on the run. Look at here. And is accurate with it. It's a short hop, but it's amazing that he even made the throw. I don't know if many shortstops that would have even made the throw.
He's incredible. I've seen him so many times in 2 different uniforms make throws that boggle the mind. But with all of it, Marty Castillo beats it out. And Templeton, of course, has been playing on bad knees. There's Whitaker, single, flied out, and walk. They're looking bunt. Nettles on the grass. And, of course, after Whitaker comes Trammell.
Scouting report on Garvey is he rarely makes a play at second.
There'll be action in the Padre bullpen in a moment. Big chopper to Garvey. He tags the bag, throws to second, and the tag is there. Double play, because once Garvey stepped on the bag, the force was removed. Templeton had to tag Castillo, and he did.
It was right on the bag. Garvey only has to take a step. It's high. Look at here. And he's throwing. Templeton comes down with it, and Doug Harvey. There's Castillo hustling down. I wonder if he slid off the bag. He had him. Good look.
Boy, and a great throw. Garvey has made 3 out of 4 excellent throws to second base.
And he doesn't normally do that.
No. He's really come up with some dandies. Only once did he throw high where Templeton had a leap in the air. The other 3 right on the money. Here's Trammell. 2-0. Down in the Padre bullpen. Who do you think would be throwing this time in the game? You got it. Strike.
You can bet if somebody hits a loud foul on the Padre lineup that Hernandez will be up.
You know what's interesting about Gossage? You probably won't believe this unless you really check the record books close. 2-1. In there. In the last 8 World Series games in which Goose Gossage was eligible to pitch, he has never pitched with a lead. Now that's a shocker, huh? 2-2. On deck, Kirk Gibson. (4-3) Tigers. Trammell saying hold it.
You mentioned Kirk Gibson. The thought just runs through my mind. That's when you talk about speed. It isn't measured just with stolen bases, because he stole that run and didn't steal a base.
Line drive off the glove of Nettles. He should have caught it. The throw to Garvey. Got him anyway. Another great throw by Gary Templeton. Nettles has it, and it spins away. And there's Johnny on the spot.
Barehanded. And he gets something on it. See the ball, you see his foot. Safe.
But the history books will say out.
And that's, Mike Riley called him out, and that's all that counts.
5-6-3 on that play. Now we go to the 7th inning. Lopez has struck out 3 of the 4 batters he has faced, and 14 of his 18 pitches have been strikes.
And Wiggins has to get on some way, somehow. Castillo's in close to third, but he's been able to drag that ball past the pitcher, and let's see.
He hasn't tried to bunt. Now he takes a strike.
Lopez not that good a fielder, big guy, and if Sparky's instructions hold true, he'll break towards first base because Castillo's taking away the bunt from third.
0-1. In there. All Lopez does is throw strikes.
Like a machine.
Boy. 0-2 to Alan Wiggins. And another one. Punched him out.
Just ran back and pumping. He's got 4 strikeouts, 3 of them called strikes. There it is. I mean, that pitch, 93 miles an hour, and certainly too close to take in the game that you're fighting for your life for.
And here is Tony Gwynn. Fly ball to left field. It's playable, and Herndon is there. And all of the momentum has swung to Detroit ever since the little pop fly to right field that allowed the go-ahead run to score. And Steve Garvey coming up.
Well, there's nothing that'll take the momentum away quicker than the guy coming in and getting called strike 3s.
Yeah, the Padres are going to sag. Now's the time with Hernandez in the pen and Lopez throwing strikes. Garvey aboard on a fielder's choice. Remember, that's a big play. It's a 1-run game. Wiggins was at third with 1 out. If Garvey hits a fly ball to get him home, it's another game. But Garvey hit a ground ball, and Whitaker threw Wiggins out at the plate. Garvey had an infield single and flied out since, and there is yet another strike. Well, 0-1. Out of 23 strikes. Ground ball to third. Marty Castillo throws him out. 7 in a row retired by Lopez. 8 in a row retired by the Tigers. And it is 4-3 Detroit as we go to the bottom. The biggest single play in the 1984 World Series. Bases loaded and 1 out. A fly ball to shallow right, normally caught by the right fielder because he's coming into the play. Instead, Wiggins goes out. It's our contention that Gwynn had lost the ball. That allowed Wiggins the chance. And the big play, Gibson comes home to break the tie.
It's the kind of a play that the outfielder takes charge for some reason, Ben, and we'll have to wait and see what he says. Did he lose it? Did he not call it?
Well, we go to the bottom of the 7th, and here's the man who tagged up and came home. Kirk Gibson, a 2-run home run, walk, and a single off Nettles' glove. 2 for 2. Big guy really coming alive today. Ball 1. Gibson hitting .313 in the series. Couldn't wait. Could not wait. And he's hot about it.
He talks to himself and he regroups and back in he goes.
Leverage trying to hold him with Nettles, Kennedy, and Bavacqua due up in the 8th inning against Lopez. A bunt in the air, foul and out of play. And by the way, Hernandez is walking in to the Detroit dugout. And it could very well be that Lopez, who has been magnificent, will now entrust the last couple of innings to Willie.
He's got Nettles and Kennedy, Bavacqua, 2 left-hand hitters.
Well, he's that close to coming in the game. 1-2, the count to Gibson. Boy, I tell you what, if they make that move, that's a tough move.
Oh, that's that half of the money you get for worrying.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes, Kurt. Oh, that big jug had him dead. Runge just said it was a good pitch. You take a look at it. Sorry, big guy. That was in there. And now Dick Williams is heading for the mound as Gibson heads for the dugout. Mutter, mutter. Boy, he's hot.
Yeah, he's mad. You can't take it out on anybody like you do on a football field.
Yeah, that's right. Want to go hit somebody and there's nobody to hit. Take a look at it. Big breaking ball.
He commits early.
Look at that. Case closed. Lefferts out. Here comes the goose. And it's still Tigers 4, Padres 3. So the goose is here, but as we mentioned, he's not leading. And what makes it odd to see him, of course, yesterday he needed work, so he pitched when the team was behind. Today they need him just to stay above water.
They clocked him at 95 miles an hour warming up.
Well, Lance Parrish will face him with 1 out in the 7th. 4-3 Detroit. Fouled away. Parrish singled, twice flied to left. In the 5th inning, his fly ball was important. He went deep enough to left to Martinez that Gibson could get to second. And he lines it to left. Back goes Martinez, gone.
Fastball hitter sit on a fastball and you won't be able to shoot a bullet by him. That fastball was clocked at 97 miles per hour. And one other note, Sparky Anderson on NFL 84 said Parrish would hit a home run. So now he's become a predictor, prognosticator.
Sparky the prophet. And Lance Parrish wears 13. It was unlucky for Gossage. That's a fly ball to Gwynn on the track, leaps in the air and backhands it. That wall is 9 feet, including the screen. So he hit that a little less than 9 feet high, or it's out.
He's made 2 pitches, both balls hit hard, which indicates obviously they're sitting on it, knowing he's going to throw it, and he's going to defy him.
Look at this leap by Gwynn. The ball would not have cleared that 9-foot fence, but it sure would have been an extra base hit if he doesn't catch it. Ball 1.
Remember, Goose did this in the championship series, where he was just rearing back and firing.
Woo. 1-1. But with all the speed and the clocking of the gun, the Goose has been plucked here. It is 5-3 Detroit. Breaking ball, and he singled to center. He might have even cracked his bat. A slider in on the hands.
Against the Cubs with Sandberg on, Goose didn't even give a look, and he took off. I'm sure that the Tigers have made a note of that.
Howard Johnson is swinging a bat. Oh, Howard Johnson will be coming up. Johnson is a switch hitter, and he'll go from the left side of the plate. This will be his first appearance in the World Series.
I remember Sal Mackley talking about pitching. He said it's like driving a car. If you keep driving at 70 miles an hour, pretty soon it seems pretty even. Then you drop it down to 50, 70 seems fast. So you got to keep changing speeds to some degree. And Goose is coming at 97, but it's 97, 97, 96, 97, and they've been able to sit on it.
Einstein's theory of relativity even applies in baseball. And there goes the runner. Ball one, the throw down. He's in there. Shades of Ryan Sandberg. Gossage never looked, never tried to hold him on.
The ball was there in plenty of time, it seemed. Lemon with a head-first slide. Now watch when he gets the ball. He just didn't get in behind it.
Well, Lemon at second with 2 out, 1 ball and no strikes. Howard going after a high pitch. You know, I remember years ago, I asked Jim Gilliam, the late Gilliam, what's the toughest thing about being a switch hitter? You know what he said?
No.
Getting hit by the ball, because you're hitting backwards like Alice in the Looking Glass. Fastball, a broken bat, ground ball to Wiggins, boots it, and Lemon's at third, and he took too much time in the first place.
He's simply nonchalant, that one, and that there's nothing you can say except it's an error, and the house is starting to really crumble. Look at this.
It's one thing to be cool, but that's being cold. I mean, he took forever to get to the ball.
He waited for it. He could have charged it on the other half.
And here is Evans now trying to put the Padres away. Tigers are at first and third. 2 out, a run over. 5-3 Detroit. High fly ball. It's playable. Bobby Brown. However, the big blow, the home run by Lance Parrish. 1 run, 2 hits and an error, 2 left. And as Parrish puts on the gear and Sparky whispers in his ear, the big guy takes the Tigers on the field, leading 5-3. It is empty. Not only the fact that Goose Gossage is going to close it out, win or lose, but remember, we're playing under the American League rules, a designated hitter. That means you don't have to hit for a pitcher. So there's no reason to have any more pitchers down there. Had this been a National League game, even with Gossage pitching, they might have had to hit for him. They would have had people in the pen. But not this year, not in this World Series, not with the DH. So it's standing room only in the dugout. Can you imagine taking Aurelio Lopez out of the game?
It was amazing when he was in there. The last 14 pitches he made were strikes, and he only made 25 pitches. And 21 of them were for strikes. As I said, the last 14 in a row. It was incredible. 4 strikeouts, 3 of them called. He just wind him up and he threw you a strike.
Greg Nettles, a strike on the inside corner. Naturally, in Sparky's thinking, Hernandez gets back-to-back left-hand batters here. But it's not that much of a gamble, especially now with a 2-run lead. 0-1. High fly ball into shallow right center. A trio of Tigers. Whitaker. As the kids would say, that's unreal. Terry Kennedy. Grounded out, hit into a force play, hit back to the box. Now back. Padres are starting to wonder, doesn't anybody miss the strike zone? After looking at Lopez, and now Hernandez has done nothing but go right after the hitters.
Well, that's what you want your relief pitcher to do. Throw strikes with something on it. Stay away from that base on balls. That's what kills you.
0-1. At Whitaker. The last Padre to get aboard was Nettles, who singled in the 5th inning. We now have 2 out in the 8th. 5-3 Detroit.
The bread and butter pitch for Hernandez is a screwball. Look at his elbow, his arm. He turns it over to rotation.
Kennedy hit it pretty hard.
He didn't get it in far enough. Burkeen did that to Williams in the 46 World Series. Left-hand hitter, left-hand pitcher, breaking in on the hands. He kind of got it out over the plate.
Here's Bavacqua, fly to left, walked and struck out, 0 for 2. Fastball and a high drive into left field. Herndon looking up, and this one gone. So after we show you his specialty screwball, he throws Bavacqua a fastball. We got a game again. Tigers 5, Padres 4.
And when you hit him that hard, you're looking for it. And Bavacqua is a smart hitter. He figured he'd get ahead of me because the other 2 guys didn't stay up there too long. I'll look for the fastball and pop it, and he did, and they're back in the game.
Just imagine if Kennedy's ball gets by Whitaker. Here is Carmelo Martinez, singled and struck out twice. Strike. A lot going on here, but we certainly want to mention that he's now in the game. Dave Bergman took over at first base for Darrell Evans here in the 8th inning. 0-1. Curveball hit down the left field line. Herndon was deep. He has to come up and get it. Martinez is going to be waved for second and then quits and comes back. But as they have done throughout the series, the Padres keep battling back. A lot of other runners, I think, would have had a double on that. Martinez does not run well.
He's watching it all the way. He makes a big turn. They're telling him to go on for second, but he stops right there, and they're going to put in a pinch runner for him.
Luis Salazar will run for Carmelo Martinez. But he could easily be going to second base, except for Martinez. Remember, we mentioned earlier about the ball that Templeton hit. The grass is so deep in the outfield. Templeton was muttering in the dugout. In any other ballpark, that ball goes to the wall. In this instance, instead of it going all the way down the line, Sparky saw it die and saw Herndon come up with it. So the tying run is at first. Bergman holding on Salazar, and Templeton now crosses over to hit right-handed. Templeton is 0 for 3 hitting right-handed. All of his action has come from the other side of the plate, but he has more power from this side. His 3 home runs this year, all 3 were hit as a right-handed batter. And if he does something wonderful for San Diego, the question will be, why did you take Lopez out? One ball, no strikes. Fastball, he was late. You think that's probably another problem about being a switch hitter? Playing the whole game swinging left-handed, then going around right-handed and having a little sluggish swing that way?
I don't know how to answer it. I never did it. I would think it would be, but then again, he's been doing it all year. Of course, Hernandez is a little bit, he's a little bit quicker than you think. He's deceptive with his fastball because of that screwball.
Got to look for the Scroogey, I think. 1-1. Nope, fastball, and he was late again. He got it in on the hands.
See, that's the thing. You got to look for his fastball, and he throws you enough screwballs to offset you. You really, I tell you, when you got more than one pitch, it's just difficult to do. You saw with Gossie's just throwing fastballs. They sit on that, and if they get it, you get a pretty good cut. With this guy, you can't be that sure.
Salazar, the tying run at first. Tigers 5 runs. Padres 4. 2 out, 8th inning. Fouled away.
Beat that right into the ground. The grub worms would have had it.
Yeah, that's what Charlie Dressen used to say. A worm killer.
Worm killer.
1-2.
It's straight down. He beats down on it.
I guess on the artificial turf, it's a moth killer. 1-2. And they got him picked off. Bergman goes to Whitaker. The tying run is picked off. Most ball players slides on only one side, so he really slides into that tag. It's the rare player who can slide either way. If he hooks on his right hip, he gets away from that tag.
Looked like his only chance to make the play was to take his body out into the outfield and grab it with his hands.
Right. Oh, and 1 to Marty Castillo, and a little business. Remember, all the stations along the network, at the end of this half inning, in the bottom of the 8th, we'll have an extra station identification. Fastball. Oh, 1-2.
The question in Salazar, though, is if you're the tying run and you are going to steal, you can't get picked off. You've got to get thrown out if you are indeed running.
And the team with the better overall speed, better than perhaps the Cubs, pays for the fact that Martinez does not run well. If Martinez ran well, he had an easy double. And instead, he has to stop with a single. Salazar runs for him, and he's picked off. And you really get down to 2 plays now. The inability to get Wiggins home in the first inning. And the pop fly that was caught by Wiggins instead of Gwynn that allowed Gibson to come home. They'll haunt San Diego all winter.
Well, that last play by Salazar is not exactly going to put him to sleep.
2-2. Three and 2. Kirk Gibson has been vitally involved. He hit a 2-run home run, and he scored in the 5th inning on the fly ball to Wiggins. And Gossage walks Castillo, opening up the bottom of the 8th. Lou Whitaker is the batter. Remember, Castillo singled in the 6th inning. They didn't have Whitaker bunting. They had him swing away, and Garvey turned to double play at first. With Trammell to follow, and their lead cut to 1 again, we'll see whether they have Whitaker bunting. Nettles, 1 step up in front of the bag, fouled away. 0-1.
Goose made a throw to first base. Nothing else, letting Castillo know that I know you're there.
Anderson has tremendous faith in Whitaker, even against steam or heat like Gossage. Being left-handed, he might just let him hack away. We'll see. Trammell on deck. Yep, he's got him around. Bunting a 1-hopper to Nettles. He's going to go to Templeton.
He's off the bag.
He missed the bag.
He wasn't expecting to throw. He was off the bag. I can't believe what's happening. It's like Padre busters. I mean, the Gremlins have hit the field. Guys are not catching fly balls. He assumed he was going to first base. Now watch this. Nettles, he doesn't hesitate, and Templeton is standing in front of the bag. He's in front of the bag. He got caught in a cookie jar.
Look at the look on Templeton. You don't have to say anything. He's so shocked. Oh, my goodness.
He can't believe he did that himself. He was in front of the bag. I mean, it's a real Halloween finish.
There's the bunt to Gossage, and he has to throw to Wiggins. It figures they'll take the bat right out of Gibson's hand. And now Dick Williams is going to go out there because Kennedy held up 4 fingers and then went out to the mound. Well, let's see.
Well, you gotta believe that he's going to put him on with 4 pitches. But if he starts to fool around and throw a couple pitches and get a couple strikes, don't you know that Sparky will be screaming about that Raleigh Fingers Johnny Bench play?
That's right. You have to turn the clock back with 2 strikes on Bench. Dick went out to the mound, talked to Fingers, Tennis held his hand out as if we're going to put him aboard. Suddenly, Tennis dropped into a crouch. Bingo, strike 3.
Well, they're making a decision here, and Williams is in charge.
You know what's interesting? Kirk Gibson made his major league debut, his very first at-bat in the big leagues, against Goose Gossett. That's a great way to break in. And Gossett struck him out on 3 pitches.
Blew him away, Sparky says.
And maybe because of that, Gossett is saying, I can get him. Well, we'll see. Ball 1. The infield is up. They give Gibson the left field foul line. Brown is in left. And there it goes! Distinct feeling that Goose Gossett talked Dick Williams out of the intentional walk.
And that'll be another one of those things that'll haunt Dick Williams, because it looked like they were going to maybe set up the double play, but Williams was doing all the talking.
I know Kennedy figured to walk him. He held 4 fingers up. Saddest words of tongue and pen. What might have been for San Diego. And this crowd in Detroit delirious. Kirk Gibson has 5 RBIs. The record is 6. Bobby Richardson against the Pirates in 1960. Ow! Kennedy got bitten by that one. They are singing goodbye. Too late. Too little, too late. Here's the story of the inning, of the game, of the series, of the year. A man who was so angry in the 7th inning. And does this look like Gary Templeton, who was left at the plate when Salazar was picked off and was left in front of the bag on the sacrifice? Fouled away. That tells it all, doesn't it, Joe?
Yes, it does.
Oh, 2 to Gary Templeton. The Tigers 3 out away from the World's Championship. The Tigers, as we mentioned earlier, clinched the division at home, clinched the pennant at home, and they're now trying to clinch the World Series at home. First team to do that since the '69 Mets. Screwball fouled away. On deck, Bruce Bochy. He'll bat for Bobby Brown. Foul back, high fastball. If pictures tell the story, look at the Padres. Ground ball to Trammell. Bruce Bochy, born in France, 29-year-old. He's the backup catcher to Terry Kennedy. Fastball.
This is just a gesture by Williams, I'm sure, to get him into the World Series.
Something to tell the kids. 0-1. 8-4 Tigers. 1 out, 9th inning. Curveball, and he hit it foul, but he had a good rip at it. 0-2. One of the few curveballs we've seen Hernandez throw. And the Tigers 2 outs away from the bubbly. That's Aurelio Lopez without the hat. Line drive, base hit. So Bochy off the bench, singles to left. And the Padres, one last chance to fight back. Ron Renicky, the brother of Baltimore's Gary Renicky, gets a chance to get in the World Series. In '81, he had hurt his ankle and couldn't play in the Dodger-Yankee World Series. This year, he wasn't eligible until McReynolds hurt his wrist. So you see, fate has a way of evening up, I guess. And here's Wiggins. Ball 1.
From day one of the season, the Tigers have been in first place.
Incredible team.
Incredible year.
And this is the capper. Fouled away. One out, 9th inning. Hernandez with the luxury of a 4-run lead. Two and 1. Little Scroogey that stayed very high and ran away. One out, 9th inning. Fastball popped in the air. Lands Parrish. Don't forget, we'll take you into the locker room after this game if the Tigers hold on to any part of this 4-run lead. And the way this crowd is going, we're just going to be quiet and let you listen and enjoy it to your heart's content.
Johnny Grubb, preparing for the onslaught, took his cap off and put it in his shirt. And that's why most of them have their caps off. They'll be running out there. Fans love the game. Even Trzaskowski, he doesn't like to take his hat off. He hasn't got that much grass.
Times Square. This one, vintage 1984. Tiger Stadium in Detroit, home of the world champion Detroit Tigers. And with that, let's go to the champions locker room and to Bob Costas.
All right, Vin, thank you very much. On the platform, the new commissioner of baseball, Peter Ueberroth, the former owner, longtime owner of the Tigers, John Fetzer, the new owner of the ball club, Tom Monahan, the manager, the first to win championships from both leagues, Sparky Anderson, the MVP of the series, Alan Trammell. For the presentation of the championship trophy, the commissioner.
It was great baseball, a great team, and it's a pleasure to give this trophy to the chairman of the board, or maybe of all of baseball, John Fetzer. John?
Well, this is the climax of 28 years of owning the ball club, and I've just loved every minute of it. I love all the guys that are here, and I want to tell you right now, I'm happy to turn this cup over to Tom Monahan as the new owner of the Tigers. And Tom, I hope you win a lot of them as the next 30 years goes to you.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Fetzer. The one thing I feel right now is tremendous gratitude to you for giving me this great opportunity, I'll be forever grateful. This is your team. This should be your trophy.
I love all of them out there, and these boys are all your boys from now on. You take them and you go all the way with them every year you can.
Oh, I want you around.
I'll be here as long as I can.
Oh, you'll be here a long time.
Let's turn now to Sparky Anderson. 104 victories in the regular season, Sparky. You add on the postseason, you lost only one. The composite is 111 and 59.
Bobby, I don't care about none of that. The only thing I care is the public could see, to me, one of the most class teams and people that I've ever been around. The young man that won the most valuable player, I say it, I don't care what nobody said. He's the best player in baseball. We fell that way. That's what we're going to say. He deserves everything. And when Alan speaks, he speaks for this team. I'll see you later.
Sparky will be back. I think there's a phone call waiting for him eventually. We'll turn to Alan Trammell, 9 for 20, including a couple of homers, the MVP.
Well, thank you, Bob. I'll tell you what, I wish we could divide it up between all of us. I know that Jack was very deserving, Kirk Gibson. It's just one of these things that everybody's been contributing for our ball club. I just happen to have a good series, but it's divided among all of us, that's for sure.
Alan, yesterday's ball game, that had to be the thrill of a lifetime. The 2 2-run homers, the 4 RBIs.
There's no question, but this is even special right here. This is what it's all about. We're going to get that ring. This is the most important day of my life. I'm going to celebrate.
Let's see if we've got the telephone ready. Are we set with the call? We are. Can we get Sparky Anderson back up here? Sparky. Jim Campbell, the president of the ball club, is also here. And on the line, I believe, the president of the United States. Sparky?
Mr. President, I know that you are a great Cubs fan, but I know if you've seen these kids, you'd be a Tiger fan. Mr. President. Well, Mr. President, I know you love those Cubs, but if you knew around these Tigers, you'd love them more.
Tremendously difficult to hear the conversation.
Well, I'll tell you what, now we'll sit down to some hard rooting.
We'll return to the Tiger Clubhouse in just a moment. Stay with us.
I'm in the Padres locker room. Obviously, it's a bit more subdued. I'm with Tony Gwynn, who was the Majors' leading hitter this year. And Tony, I think everybody wants to know about that key play in the 5th inning. Did you lose the ball? Could you pick it up? You lost it.
I lost it. As soon as the ball got up over the stands, I lost it. And Wiggy had a long way to go to get it. And once he got it, he really couldn't plant himself and throw because Gibson could run down the line. And we couldn't get anything on it. And I hate that it turned out to be the key play in the game, but that's what happened.
Can you sum up your feelings about this club and what happened over this 5-game series?
Well, I think we're disappointed because I really don't believe we played like we were capable of playing, but nobody really expected us to be here. And there are 24 other teams sitting at home watching this, and we had an opportunity to play in it. We didn't play well, but we got to keep our heads high because we had a heck of a season this year. And sure, we'd love to have won it, but we didn't. So I guess we have to work a little bit harder next year.
Okay, congratulations on a fine season in the batting championship.
Okay,
Tony.
thank you.
Okay, let's go back to Bob Costas now in the Tiger locker room. Bob?
All right, Lenny, thanks very much. In case you couldn't hear it earlier over the din, the MVP is Alan Trammell with his 9 for 20 and his 2 home runs. But either one of these guys could have gotten it too. Jack Morris, a couple of victories in your first World Series.
The throw, the weight,
the work, it's all worth it. This is the greatest moment of my baseball career. I'm just so proud of all these guys right here, because without their help, I wouldn't be here, and I just really feel great about it.
There were a few low moments during an otherwise terrific season for you. This has to make it a sweet ending.
Well, this is what I planned all spring. I made a few statements early in the year, but it's only showed the confidence that I had in this ball club. The greatest thing about it is we were able to come through and win it all.
Jack, congratulations. Kirk Gibson, you were kidding me about being nervous before the series. Didn't look like you had any jitters today. You crushed a couple.
Well, there's a little bit of luck involved, and I've come a long way, like Jack says. There's high moments, and there's been some low moments, but this tops it off. We're the best in the world. We're the world champions, and it just says a lot about the great guys. And I heard about the MVP is Alan Trammell. People don't realize Alan Trammell's been playing hurt all year. He's going to have surgery on his knee, and they're going to have to go in and look on his shoulder. So I'd personally like to congratulate Alan Trammell. It just shows the kind of makeup that we have, the kind of ball players we have on this team.
Kirk Gibson, congratulations to you. The 1984 world champions are the Detroit Tigers. And I guess it's appropriate enough to say to this room full of happy Detroit ball players, bless you, boys. You're the 1984